Hey everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. How you doing out there? Hope you're all having a nice weekend. I'm having a beautiful, beautiful weekend here, man. We've been having cold temperatures the last couple of mornings, and I couldn't be happier. The more covers that I sleep on under, the better I sleep. I'm last couple of nights I've probably slept 9 or 10 hours. Anyhow, today I want to talk to you about living on purpose. Just was reading a little article a couple of days ago, and I thought this would be a really good one to share today. So hope you guys enjoy it. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd really appreciate if you go down and hit that subscribe button now and come back and check out a little bit more of my content. Oh, also too, I'm wearing one of my new shirts this morning. This one's mostly just for me. Third eye open. You can find it on the website. I'll try to remember to put a link directly to this shirt below, but my store is always in the description. It's rawtropicallivinggear.com. So with no further ado, let's get to the reading. This is from a site I like to read from time to time. It's called Zen Habits, zenhabits.net. And the title of the article is Live on Purpose by Leo Babauta. And it starts off with a quote by Rumi. Our purpose here on earth, to manifest the very nature of our spirit, which is touched by the Spirit of God. So often we live our lives drifting, getting by, trying to find comfort and pleasure, doing what we need to do, doing things out of habit, getting lost in the busy work, going through the motions, getting caught up in our thoughts, getting lost in distractions, trying to stick to something but then reverting to habitual patterns, dealing with one crisis after another, putting out fires and sweeping up messes, dealing tiredness and stress and depression and anxiety, trying to keep our heads above water, trying to make ends meet, falling behind and getting overwhelmed, struggling and not wanting to face our problems, getting mired in a pit of never-ending tasks, losing our days and weeks because they all blend together. This is the human condition, and it is beautiful. But what would it be like to live with purpose, to have meaning in the work that we do, and to structure our lives with that purpose in mind, and with the most meaningful relationships and activities? What would it be like to live on purpose, to have intention to our actions, have purpose to drive us, to put everything we have into everything we do? The more we live on purpose and do our best in every single thing we do, the more meaningful our lives will be. Let's explore this idea of living on purpose. Getting clarity on your purpose. Not everyone is walking around saying, "Yep, I know exactly what my purpose is in life." In fact, most people don't ask the question, and if they do, they might not believe there is such a thing as purpose. That's because there isn't inherently a purpose in our lives. We have to create it. If we don't, our actions feel drifting and meaningless. So how do we figure out that purpose? It's a matter of creating an inquiry and then listening, then putting it into action. This is worth doing, by the way, even if you feel like you have some idea of your purpose. We'll get to the inquiry in a moment, but this process looks like this. Number one, start asking some questions, inquiry, that opens us up to thinking about what is meaningful to us. This is about opening to inquiry and seeing what comes up. Number two, start listening. This is the part that many people skip. They might ask the questions, but then not really feel they're coming up with meaningful answers. That's because we have to listen in silence and solitude. So go out in nature and walk in silence. No music or podcast or audiobooks, or sit in silence. Ask the questions below. Listen to what comes up. Listen some more. Ask some more. It's like having a dialogue with God or the universe or your inner consciousness. Ask and listen. Speak and see what comes out. Number three, take action to get clarity. Many people make the mistake of thinking they need clarity before they can put it into action, but that's actually the reverse of how it works. You get an idea, but no real clarity. Then you try it out and see how it works. Does it feel meaningful? Which parts of it scare you? What do you need to change in order to make it happen? You might find that it's not for you and you need to try something else out. Or that something related to your original idea is actually closer to your purpose. It's an exploration. And through this exploration, you start to get some clarity. This isn't a one-off process, actually. It's an ongoing one of getting more and more clarity. So even if you think you are pretty close to your purpose, keep this process going. It might never end. I don't know yet. The purpose inquiry. There's no right way to do this process of inquiry except to turn toward the questions and the possibilities. Some questions to start you in the process. What people have you helped in your work? What people have you helped in your work made the work feel more meaningful than usual? What people have problems that really speak to your heart, that move you to want to help? What have you done in your life that felt most meaningful? It doesn't have to be around work. What books have you read, videos watched, courses taken that really lit you up? When have you worked with people who really lit you up? Who has inspired you the most? Who have you inspired? Again, these are just to get you started. Ask questions like this that open you to feeling meaning, that open to new ways of seeing things. Then go out in silence and listen. Journal. Listen some more. Talk to yourself or God or the universe. Then listen to yourself, God or the universe. See what comes up. Then take action. Living on purpose. Once you have a little clarity, you don't need very much. You can take some action. Help one person. Help another, then another. Write about what you learned helping them. Create something for someone. Give that creation to a few others. Launch something. Be a part of something. Start something new. Each day, ask, what one thing could you do to live your purpose out? Eventually, you start to have a bigger vision for what you can do with this purpose. Challenge yourself to make it even bigger. Now bring that vision into your daily life. Number one, bring your bigger vision into smaller steps until you have a purposeful task to do today. Number two, structure your life so that you are creating the space for the purpose. Number three, bring practices to your life that help you work with the habitual patterns that get in the way of purposeful work. Patterns like procrastination, distraction, overcommitting, etc. Number four, structure your life to support this purposeful work. Meditation, eating, fitness, reading to get you to the most clear, inspired place you can get to. Number five, do every single activity the absolute best you can. This doesn't mean exhausting yourself, but doing each thing with full intention and care, instead of half doing it as many of us are prone to doing. If you can bring these 5 elements into your life, you're living on purpose. P.S. If you're ready to live your life on purpose, train with me in my Fearless Training program. Okay, he's got a program which it looks like it probably is a pretty good one. And we finish with this quote from Don Miguel Ruiz. If you do your best always, over and over again, you will become a master of transformation. This is really pertinent for me. You know, I've kind of been going through some stuff in my head lately and kind of trying to figure out some things in my life, some directions I want to go in. So when I came across this, I read this a couple of times. This one didn't immediately jump out at me as what I was going to share this week, or if I was actually even going to share it. But the more I came back, the more I read about it, the more I let it sink in, and I actually gave it some thought. I said, well, I think this could have some value for me. I want to work with this a little bit, so I figured some other people might have, it might have some value for them. How many people are actually doing or actually focused on their purpose these days? That first part of the article that I was reading, when he was just talking about, we just kind of get into our, you know, I'm kind of just summarizing, but when he's kind of talking about we just kind of get into our ruts doing the same old without actually thinking, just going through the motions. And sometimes we don't have a lot of choice on that. You know, people have to make a living. People have to support their families. People have things they have to do. But as it all comes down, we always do the best we can. You know, you might not be able to do everything at once, but everybody can do a little bit of something. So anyhow, just a little bit of light thought right there. Listen, these little weekend readings, I'm not all that deep. Sometimes people come over the top and give me a comment or ask me a question, and they're all deep and stuff, and I'm like, I'm about as deep as a mud puddle. I just like to kind of share simple thoughts. So if you ever hear my readings and you go to something complicated, think you're looking at the most simple guy in the world here, so think I'm probably interpreting it in the most simple way possible. But anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you again soon. Have a beautiful weekend, my friends. Peace.